Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Put the comic in the stew. Then you get the spoon and stir it all about. And then what do you get? You get comics in me. Welcome to Halloween week. As usual, please beware of spoilers. Due to its rating, this comic may involve graphic images and language. Happy Monday on this Halloween week, and boy do we have some tricks and treats for you. Starting it off is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This was done by I can't say it. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the name up for a while on one of these sides, because I apologize, but I'm horrible with names, as previously stated in like 3 separate videos, and I keep butchering them. So I'm gonna put them up so you can see it. So the writer Roberto, which I probably butchered that, and I'm going to try not to butcher it as much in this episode. He did Afterlife with Archie back in like 2013, I think it was, and that hit big, like a M-rated Archie about zombies. Like, I'm not a big fan of zombies, and I've stated that before, and that one was really cool. What wasn't cool was the delays, and I can kind of see why the delays happened, because that hit so big out of nowhere, and after that, he became the chief creative officer, which is a big deal because I think this might have been his first or second Archie. I know it was like one of the first ones he wrote, and to become someone so high after writing that, that's pretty crazy, and that's because how well it did, and it did well. A lot of people I knew who damn like Archie read it, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the story he did after that, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Growing up, I read some Archie, not too much, just a little bit, because I wasn't that much of a fan. And the one character that did stick out was Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I thought she was cool. I mean, she even had her own TV series and animated cartoon, whatever you want to call it, series at once, and a bunch of different books. She even had a manga, which I never read, but that's kind of crazy. And I mean, that means this character is very well beloved, and people want to see more of her. And I always thought she was cool. I mean, a teenage witch is kind of cool, especially in like an ordinary life story. So, and plus, she has amazing hair. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, oh man, they have like a M-rated story coming out about her. That's really cool, and I really don't want to move my hands because, oh, whoa, never mind, the lighting looks cool. So when I heard they were coming out with the M-rated one done by the writer who was doing Afterlife with Archie, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Now I really want to read it. And I read the first issue, and I really, really loved it. I'm like, dude, this is cool. I can't wait to the second issue. A month goes by. I'm like, where is it? 2 months go by. I'm like, okay, what happened to it? And then finally, after 6 months, the second volume came out. Oh, that took a while, but it's really good. Like, oh man, the art's great, the story's great. I love this story. I love everything about it. But delays, like, I never thought a delay could kill a book or kill momentum, but it really can. Like, I mean, if a first issue gets delayed, that happens. But whenever your issue 1 comes out, then issue 2 gets delayed, it could be a deal breaker. It's like, even if it's a really good story, and I can understand there being a delay because he was taking on more projects, and I think around that time, they announced Riverdale, and he was writing it. I think it was a producer who was working a lot on that, so I can understand being busy, but the delay really killed the momentum for me. But I was patient. I waited till the 3rd issue, and then I read it, and I did like the 3rd issue a lot. I really loved the series when it first came out. But just with the delays, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to wait. I'm just impatient. But I was like, I want to keep reading this, but the delays are just killing me. And I knew a couple other people who stopped reading it just because of delays. So I'm like, oh, I'll wait a while until it's complete and then see what happens. And that came out in 2014, and it's 2018, and we've only got 8 issues. So that's about 2 issues a year. And I'm not trying to start this off by dogging anyone, but the delay really killed the momentum for me. But going back and reading it again for this Halloween season, especially with the new Netflix series coming up, which I'll get back to later, because this is about the comic, not that. I was like, I kind of want to read that and see how far they got, and I'm really happy I did, because it's amazing. And I hope the next couple issues come out sooner than later. So let's start with art, because it starts with A, and A is the top of the alphabet, so art. So the art is amazing. It kind of has like an old pop cover feel to it, if that makes any sense. The colors are kind of more orange tinted and just reminds me older pulp and more horror themed thing, which is what it's going for. So it makes complete sense they would do that. But this is one of those stories that the art could really make or break it. There's some comics that it could the art could be many different ways. And then there's some comics where the story needs a specific art, at least I feel. Like, take Crisis on Infinite Earth, spoiler, when Supergirl dies. If it was all cartoony and stuff, it just wouldn't hit that point harder. It wouldn't sell the sadness and stuff. It would be like, oh, it's just all cartoony and stuff. That's stupid. So, this one really does well with the art being a specific way, which was dark, moody, and terrifying. And I'm like, yeah, I like this. This really, really benefits the story. And it takes the story up a couple notches just because the art really sells it well. And the details on all the creatures, the monsters, the woods, and just everything is really haunting. And it's like, yeah, no, they did really good with fitting the art to the story. And I believe that was Robert Hack, and knowing me, I probably said that wrong even though it looks correct, but I'm just so bad with names. I should just get someone else to say the names and dub me over. Something this series did and does that I think is different, and it actually really works, and sometimes it doesn't work, is they take issues and revolve it all around one character, which sometimes could be really bad, and like I said, sometimes could be good. And it did really good in here because it shows the motivation for the villain, shows her history, and shows how she came back and what she's doing and why she's doing it. And it's like, oh man, I'm really invested in this villain. Because, you can have just some random villain and just give them one or two panels and it's fine. And it's all cool because not every single character and every single story needs a backstory. I mean, some backstories are good, some backstories are bad, but not everyone needs one. And I think it really benefited with having backstories for these because it opened up the world more and made me care and kind of hate some characters more, which they wanted you to. And it made me see the reasons for what they're doing. And I'm like, that's cool. Granted, this could have gone really bad, but it went really well. And I think that was great because they had one for the villain, then they had one for Dad Edward. And then my favorite one, though, was for the familiar Salem and the two snakes whose names I'm forgetting right now. Those were awesome. Like, it shows how they become familiars, what they did, and just who they are and what their characters are. And I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. And it kind of hinted at they could be lying, they could not be. I mean, you never know. But with those, I'm like, oh man, I actually like these characters more. That's actually a really cool idea. The other thing that's different, I mean, it is different because it's a different kind of genre, but it's not your typical superhero or anything like that where it's like boom, boom, shazam, bam, blam, blam, super fast paced and all that stuff. No, this is more of a slow burn, and this is something I like with mangas more, is it's slow, so it kind of like goes at a slower pace. It's still good, but it kind of like builds up to something, and it kind of builds a world around it, so you care about every single person, every single little detail. And this is nice because it's more of a slice of life, I guess you would say. It's more of a slice of life story with magic, and then a big bad kind of hiding in the background, moving stuff on like a chess piece mostly, just making plans and plotting. And I think that's really cool because it just felt different than action, action, action. This one's like, no, here's a lot of characters and story, and here's their daily life, so you kind of care about them more. And I'm like, I can get behind this. And then to some degree, it even feels like a coming of age, and that might sound weird, but the first issue kind of focuses on Sabrina going through the years and like growing up, and then the first arc really surrounds her 16th birthday when she can become a witch. So it's just the trials around that, growing up, falling in love, going to high school, and just, that might sound boring to some, but it's actually really well done. And just kind of going through the motion and going through the ages, and I'm like, man, this is a good coming of ages to a degree. Like, that's cool, and I'm normally not a fan of that, but this one, I liked seeing her growth. Also, so far, the villain isn't, oh, I'm going to destroy everything, give me money, and blah, blah, blah. And I like that. Normally, the villain always wants to destroy the world, eat everyone, or just weird stuff. No, this villain's just straight up after Sabrina and kind of ruining her life and all that. And I'm like, that's cool, and I like that. And it wasn't even about Sabrina at first. She was looking for her dad, who screwed her over in the past, and you should read it just to find out, because I'm not going to go into details about that, because spoilers. But she's going after her dad, and then finds out about the daughter, and then that kind of sets an emotion. I'm like, oh yeah, so it's not even an end of the world threat. That's awesome. I enjoy that. I'm kicking it back to Netflix real fast. So reading the book and then looking at some of the trailers for the Netflix series, I'm like, they did really good with the casting of Sabrina. Like, she legit looks like the comic book character, which is really awesome and good casting. And plus, the Netflix series looks great. It'll be out by the time I send this video out, and I'm excited to watch it because it looks really damn good, and it's only a few episodes. So I might have a video about that. I don't know yet, but it looks very fun. So hey, this is the first video of the Halloween week. Like I said, I'm going to have videos every day this week, as it said in my previous video, the Blackest Night one. And I'm going to try different things each time to kind of see what I like. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you keep watching. And if you do enjoy, just like it and tell me, comment, tell me what you think could be better, think could be worse. Suggest books to me, suggest movies to me, suggest anything to me. And just let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how your week's going. Anything. Like, I want to hear. So, as always, go out there, enjoy a comic, enjoy a movie, enjoy a video game, enjoy the summer, enjoy the winter, enjoy anything, and just be happy. And as always, thanks for watching, friends, and soon to be friends. Boogie boogie.